Hi there, it's Katie Pie here. How you all doing? It's been a wee while since my last video blog. Today has been a very interesting day. In fact, the last couple of days have been interesting and very, very thought-provoking for me. And I've had a lot of discussion with different people, with different, very, very different opinions on a certain matter that has recently surfaced in New Zealand. In the last couple of days, a tragic event has been in the news of a Kiwi celebrity, Charlotte Dawson, being found in her apartment in Australia. She had taken her own life. And now I won't get into the details of the story, but she was very, very active in the social media aspects of life, and a lot of people had a very, very strong opinion of her. And she didn't hold back with her opinions either. But basically, over the years, she suffered great depression, a failed marriage, various different things that she stepped through in her life, and quite publicly too. But in the last couple of years, she received a lot of abuse and bullying, cyberbullying online, from people who would tell her very, very awful things in response to the things that she was tweeting and putting up as posts. That people were wishing her to be dead, to go kill herself, to take action on what they thought she should do. And it's that was a couple of years ago, and the article, the media have released it as she was still suffering depression and had ended her own life. Now, there was no mention of current cyberbullying, but it certainly was a topic that has provoked a huge amount of thought within myself as a result, which is a good thing. It is a very good thing, but it is tragic that it's taken a famous suicide, to get people talking about the subject of adult cyberbullying. Any kind of bullying, cyberbullying, especially online, social media, is it's a very dangerous place at times. So that's what brings me to my thoughts tonight. Is I've been watching very quietly in the background of people putting up on Facebook comments about her and their opinion about why she died and why she gave in, and how selfish it was, and everyone's got an opinion, and some of them are being extremely harsh. There's been one friend of mine who I've known for 15 years of my life. I've known him for a very long time, growing up as a teenager and through my adult years, and I would have hoped that he would have known me very well, compared to a lot of other people. And this friend of mine, he's vocal. He will put his opinion out there, once again on social media, and he doesn't care what people think. And that's okay. That's absolutely fine. I'm not criticizing this at all. But what I'm saying is it's very, very hard to shock me from things he says and his opinions. But I read something that he put up that completely shocked me in regards to this matter. It was before the media had released the facts of her being found dead, and his post was something along the lines of, it was answering to the rumours that she had been found, and he said, "I hope she has. I was sick of seeing her ugly mug in the media and around the place, and I hope she is dead." That I didn't know. I was shocked to read that. As I say, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and every single person in the world has an opinion, and some more forceful than others. But to read a comment from someone that I've known for so long on a subject that is very, very close to home for me, to be so forceful and so nasty with such an opinion, it's got me talking. It has certainly got me talking. So within myself, as a result of all of this, if you have been following me through my recovery from my accident, you may know some of the elements that will be making up my thoughts and process to this. If you haven't, if you've just found me on YouTube here by doing a search, then just to sum it up, when I had a motorcycle accident, I came off physically in a bit of a bad way, broken neck and back and leg, arms, a few bits and pieces. At the time it happened, I was very, very happy, very bubbly, pretty much a simple girl that was pretty happy, but had got through some big challenges. So the timing was a challenging time in my life for it to happen. As a result of the accident, I lost my career, and I lost a lot of independence, and I live on my own in the country. So those were big adjustments for me. And the longer I was at home, immobile, and unable to do things for myself, the further downhill my health went mentally. Physically, I was doing fine. I was recovering well, bones heal, doing my physiotherapy sessions, pushing through a lot of stuff. But as time went on, and I had more isolation on with myself, and the more the media had publicised my accident and my recovery, the further down I went. As a result of being in the media so much, I started to receive a lot of abuse from people who knew of me, but they certainly didn't know me. They were what I call strangers. I had heard of them, I knew of them. I had nothing to do with them in my real day-to-day life. I had seen bits and pieces on Facebook or social media of them and their existence, so I knew of them. So they weren't complete strangers to me, but they were certainly not people I knew well. And these people were starting to contact me and message me through Facebook and tell me how I didn't deserve all the attention I was getting. And at the time I was getting a huge amount of attention, which certainly wasn't wanted from friends, and anyone that knew my name happened to turn up into my life. And I was very thankful at the time, because there was a huge amount of support going on. But at the same time, it was incredibly overwhelming to all of a sudden go from just a normal everyday girl to boom, having everyone right there sticking their nose into what you were doing in your life and how you were doing, because they knew your name, or they had some connection with you at some point, or they knew someone that had known you and they wanted to know more. So the media hounded me and harassed me quite heavily to cover my story, and I was very strong at the time, but I was also very confused and very things got very complicated very quickly, and I was quite weak mentally, not being able to make the right decisions, because everything was happening at such pace and such force that I made some pretty bad judgment calls along the way. So I couldn't say no. It's something that I've never been good with people, is saying no and letting people down. And yes, I know that's a problem with myself, and that's something I need to work on, and I've worked on it very hard for the last few years. But the media, when they presented me with, hey, we want to do a story, we want to be around there tomorrow with photographers, we want to put it on the newspaper, I originally said, no, not a good idea. I'm starting to get a lot of flack from people by saying yes, or it's starting to look like I'm asking for this, and I want the attention that it brings. But the more I thought about it, the more I kind of I felt bad. I felt really bad that I thought, well, why not? If it can, bring some kind of positive to the situation, then sure. And the way I spun it was, if I say yes to these interviews, I have a huge focus and a point that I want to get across in the interviews and the media releases. And that is not about me, I can do this is what I can do. It's about what other people can do and what other people can get through when they don't necessarily believe they can do it. that was my direction, and I wanted to thank a lot of people that have been there and supported me and helped me through my recovery. But of course, being media, they took a twist on it, and it was all me, and it didn't particularly come out too great. I was okay with the articles. They were tame. They weren't in your face. They were mostly positive. They had taken a few points that I'd said quite out of context, and obviously left out the main points of why I said yes to doing the interviews in the first place. So, long story short, the more I was in the media, the more I started to receive a huge amount of abuse, and that is something that became very, very dominant in my life, was cyberbullying. And I couldn't go anywhere without starting to be talked about by people, and not necessarily in a good way. I heard through friends that these people who were targeting me were talking about me, and why was I doing this, and look at Katie, look at what she's doing, and it started to really affect me. I started to think, well, why do they care? What's it got to do with them? They don't know me. They don't know why I'm doing this. They haven't asked me why I'm doing this. Why does it matter? But it started to sit pretty heavy on me, because they were getting very, very forceful with their opinions. And that started off behind my back. When they started emailing and messaging me through my own contact, my own email address and my own Facebook page, and even through my own blogs and my own website. And I have to admit, they were mostly female. Bloody women, they are a very complicated species, I tell you. So when they started to say things like, you don't deserve the attention you're receiving from people, you don't have any real friends, you are just a pretty face that is getting attention for the wrong reasons, and that they believed that I should have died in the accident and shouldn't have walked away from it. And one woman went as far as to say that I would be doing them all a favour if I did something about being in this world and getting out of it. At this point in time, I grew very sick. I grew very, very sick. I started to believe what they were saying. I started to doubt myself. I started to be very insecure about who my company and my peers were. And at the same time, I was in a very serious relationship and engaged to be married, and I was losing my relationship at the same time, and I was watching it all spin out of control so quickly, but I wasn't understanding what I was going through. I was just trying to fix it how I knew best, by defending myself, by standing up for myself, by confronting these people, by asking people to stop spreading these rumours and these lies about me, some vicious, vicious rumours, and it spread like wildfire from one person to the next person to the next person, and I lost my relationship as a result. In hindsight, everything happens for a reason, and that's fine. I have a huge amount of acceptance now, but at the time, it was all very much a reflection of what was happening to me and how I was handling it very poorly. And it hurt a lot of people in the process, like my partner at the time. He became in the firing line, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I ended up getting help. I was spiraling deep through depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. And as soon as I realized that, I publicly put my hand up, because I was in the public eye anyway, and I kind of said, hey everyone, I need help. I now know what I'm going through, and I now know that I am sick and I need help and I'm not strong. And as soon as I did that, I received a huge amount more verbal abuse and cyber bullying, and it was bullying to a very, very deep level. I was at the lowest of the low, and I was admitting to people that I needed help, and the reason I did that publicly, and there's a lot of people that had an opinion about this, and I can't change that, and It's to be expected. But the reason I did that publicly was I was terrified for my own safety. I was living on my own in the country. My partner had left me, and he'd become best friends with a lot of the people that had been doing this to me, and it was very, very, very hard to do on my own, and I didn't feel safe, and I didn't trust myself, and I didn't know where to look for help and where to get the support. So I publicly said, everyone, this is what I'm going through. Please keep an eye on me. Please help me, because I know I need the help to get through. Some people stuck by me. Most people walked away very, very quickly, and it's been an incredible learning curve. But to summarize that, it's taken me the last 2 years to get through that. And quite isolated. I've had my family there all the way, right through, and my family saved me. And I have no hesitation in saying that. But I got to the point where I was so confused, and I was blaming myself for absolutely everything, and believing these things that these people were emailing and saying to me, that I was very, very unsafe. Further down the line, I started dating someone new, getting back into the world and getting myself back on my feet, and I thought I was doing quite well with my depression, and I thought I was actually starting to handle things a bit better. I was holding down a full-time job really well, working really hard, and my body was, I was coming in leaps and bounds with my progress. But I started dating this new chap, and it all spiraled again when I heard through him. He told me, he said, oh, someone came into my shop today and they said, oh, you're not dating that Katie Jane Bowen, are you? And he continued to tell me that. He said, yes, I am, yeah. And he was very quick to tell me what they had said about me. And they had said to stay away from me, that I was bad news, that I was not a very nice person, that I would have done him a lot of damage in the long run, that nobody liked me, that I had no friends. And he's told the person I was dating all of this. And I asked this chap what his name was. He told me. I'd never heard this name in my entire life. I had never met this person in my entire life. I had no idea who this person was, telling this new chap that I had started dating to stay the hell away from me, because of every single thing that he'd heard from the very people that had been abusing and bullying me. I spun out of control again. I went downhill. I took 100 steps backwards, and I had to work very, very hard to keep an eye on myself and get back up. Further down the line again, I was once again starting to date. The short-term things, starting to date, once again starting to find your feet, meeting new people, getting a bit more confidence. And all of a sudden, I had that chap reading out a text message to me that he'd been sent by someone that thought they knew me pretty well. Stay away from Katie. She's bad news. I know all of her ex-partners, and there's a lot of them. Ha ha ha. Stay away from her, because they all know the same things about Katie. She's bad news, and watch your back. I walked away very, very quickly. I wanted nothing to do with any of these people who had these connections with these people who had done all this damage to me, that had helped keep me down and helped kick me while I was down and asking for help. So this whole issue this week on cyberbullying, I don't have an answer. I don't have a huge amount of advice on it. I only have my own experiences. But the opinions I've been reading of people that have not been there themselves are very, very strong and very forceful, and they can do a lot of damage. And these people are pretty much saying, well, you can choose to not listen to it. You can choose to turn off your social media, choose to walk away and not care what people think. But when you've got people emailing you, telling you that you should be dead, that you would be better off dead, that you would be doing a lot of people a favour by doing that, when you are weak, you begin to believe it. and therefore you don't know how to walk away or not listen. It becomes a really big deal. So I just want to say tonight that I'm fascinated with the conversations that are going on over this celebrity that has tragically taken her own life, probably as a result of the cyberbullying and the severe abuse that she's been receiving on a very heavy basis. Awareness is huge. People think that bullying happens to teenagers, to kids at school. Yes, it does, and that's where it starts, and that is a very, very cruel happening for any kid to go through, and a lot of people will know what that feels like. But as you continue into adulthood, and you once again you live your own life, you're trying to do your own thing, and then you get attacked and bullied and abused by these people who know so little about you. And they do it so openly from behind a screen on social media. And then you jump into a forum where you thought people didn't know you that well or have much of an opinion, and you read a whole post about you and all of their opinions, and you're seeing 6 females jump in there and attack you verbally as to what they think you're doing wrong and what they think should happen to you. It is sick. It is very twisted, and if you are someone that is doing this to someone else from behind a screen, from behind a keyboard, we call them keyboard warriors over here, then you need help, because you could do a hell of a lot of damage that you don't know about to someone. This woman lost her life. It is tragic. It is time we start talking about this issue and we start tackling it face to face, and not avoiding the topic because of consequences or what people might think of your opinion, or keeping quiet because no one quite knows what to say or how to approach it. No, talk about it. I've had 4 conversations today with 4 different people, very different conversations about the same subject, and they've all been fascinating. And the fact that these people are talking about it is huge, because these are the kind of people who are very blind to how things can be sometimes, and are often perpetrators themselves in some small way, from what I've noticed. And to hear them talking about it and trying to understand your perspective and understand perhaps what you've been through, it is very, very good progress. So, adult cyberbullying, it is real. It is toxic. It is very dangerous. And if you're suffering depression, you may not know it at the time, and you won't handle it particularly well. And other people will say, walk away, choose to walk away. Well, you need to learn how to gain those skills. You need to have that support network around you. You need to ask for help. If you feel that you are being targeted, if you feel that you might be suffering depression, or you have symptoms, or you're not understanding why you're reacting in some ways to some things because it's completely out of character for you, I urge you to ask for help, to speak up, to not keep quiet. There could be a huge amount of damage done to you by keeping quiet and trying to get through things on your own. Speak up. I did. I asked for help. I was being attacked and singled out, and I couldn't cope, and I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified of myself. I was not terrified of these people. I was terrified of myself and what they had done to me. And I asked for help, and I asked my family for help, and my mum and dad stepped in, and they saw how real this was. They witnessed me, my mum witnessed me break down in absolute tears reading something on an internet forum that had been published about me without my knowledge. And it broke her. It broke her heart to watch me have to read that and try and understand that and take it in. So my parents are they were incredible. Allow your family to be close. Don't feel that you are losing by asking for help, because you're in fact not. You're actually winning, and you can win. So, public awareness, cyberbullying, this is a huge topic and something I'm very, very passionate about. I'm actively now supporting a few people through it too. I'm starting to join forums, I'm starting to talk, I'm starting to discuss, and I no longer have any secrets, because enough's enough, and it takes a tragic event like this to get people, to get their attention. But if some good comes out of it, then that is such a positive. Absolutely. So I wish you guys all the best. It is a scary world out there on the internet sometimes, and here I am putting myself out there again. But I'm now strong enough to do it because I no longer care, and I'm well, and I can take it. And I'm so far removed from all of those people that did me so much harm. You know, too bad. It's them that I feel so sorry for, because they didn't win. I did, and you can too. So just my thoughts. It's only the beginning. All right, thumbs up, guys. Ciao.